Chris Sutton fired one last dig at Todd Cantwell, and today, in his Scottish Sun column, Kris Boyd, the brother of Chris Sutton, has fired one last parting blow to the Rangers midfielder as he handed in that transfer request, and we are here to dissect his comments. Now, of course, I went through Todd Cantwell as well, and it's intriguing to see that Chris Sutton and Kris Boyd are both agreeing with me on this one. But let's see what Kris Boyd said. He said, and I quote, Todd Cantwell has only proven Chris Sutton right by showing that he doesn't have the mentality to play for Rangers, where he will eventually realise that it was as good as it got. So, I mean, that's pretty damning to end that bit of quote there. I mean, Kris Boyd, Chris Sutton, they love the wee back and forth they got, even though, I mean, Boyd can deliver all the body blows he wants to Chris Sutton, but if his team ain't delivering on the pitch, I mean, he's basically boxing with both hands tied behind his back at the end of the day. It's not very good, is it? Boyd went on to say, and I quote, there has been plenty from him on social media, though, with various digs at folk. But I'm sorry, his performance has only underlined the criticism he got and showed that a lot of people were right with what they said about the player. I hate to say it, but Chris Sutton, for one, got it bang on when he thought Cantwell had the mentality to be a Rangers player. All Cantwell did was prove Sutty right. And when you look from the outside in, when you're looking also from the inside, that's all he did, man. Cantwell, he will never get a bigger opportunity than this in his career playing for Rangers. He will leave Rangers Football Club. He will return to mid-table mediocrity in the Championship. And even when he goes to the Championship and he performs well, say he gets a move to who's a club in the Premier League that would take Todd Cantwell for some reason? Say like a Brentford or Southampton, right? Not saying they would take him right now. He's got a lot to prove before he gets a move to the Premier League, in my opinion. But with his attitude, his arse will probably collapse. The only difference is, for Rangers, you need to win trophies and you need to deliver. You can't make false statements. You can't turn around and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to match Callum McGregor, and then a couple of months later, your wee arse collapses and you leave. You know, that might work at Southampton, where your nearest rivals are fucking Portsmouth. It's like, well, we're going to be better than Portsmouth for the longevity that I'm here, the time that I'm here. Of course that's going to happen, but in the Glasgow Goldfish Bowl, which Chris Sutton spoke about earlier, which, by the way, if you want to see that video, check it out on Fog Football, you don't have time. You can't come out and say things like that, because when you don't deliver on them, it's going to get brought up, and it sure as hell did get brought up. What Cantwell should have done is stayed quiet, but once he said that about Callum McGregor, he had to commit his future to this club. You know, the going has got tough for Rangers in this summer transfer window. It's got a lot tougher than most of us estimate it. But what he had to do was like, you know what? I've gave it Billy Big Balls, so I'm going to stay and I'm going to try and drag this club from the bottom to the top. But what did he do? At the first sign of danger and mince for Rangers, he tucks his tail between his legs and he pisses off. So, fuck Todd Cantwell. Yeah, and that may be extreme. No, it's not extreme. I think it's right on the money, and it's why when Todd Cantwell hands it in, I've got a bigger issue with him saying it than of like a Scott Wright or a Hadji, because Hadji, Wright, and whatever other players at Rangers, they're not giving it the big, and they're not saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Yeah, like, you know, it's not unnormal for a player to come in and say he wants to win trophies with the club, but coming in and saying you want to overtake Callum McGregor's trophy, that pissed me off beyond belief. Yeah, I mean, you won a Scottish League Cup after it, Cantwell, and it's not like he hadn't. Look at the amount of games, crunch games, that even Cantwell, in the short period of time at Rangers he's had in the 18 months he's been here, against Celtic in semis, finals, and crunch league games to actually go ahead and win trophies, and you haven't fucking delivered. It's not like he's been here 6 months and he's never had a game that's worth anything against Celtic. Pretty much every game the guy's played against Celtic, apart from the one where we won 3-0. It's funny that, the one with no pressure, that's when Todd Cantwell's arse collapsed, or didn't collapse, when we won 3-0 in a game it didn't matter under Michael Beale, but I'm not surprised. I think he suited Beale more. He was given a bit more of freedom, but not anymore. And yeah, Boyd, I think he's just right. He's not impressed by the Rangers exit request for Todd Cantwell. I'm not impressed. I don't think anyone should be impressed. I think it's fucking embarrassing. And that is where we're going to leave this video. I agree with Kris Boyd. I agree with Chris Sutton. It's a very rare day when you can actually sit and say those two agree with each other and you actually agree with them. But Todd Cantwell has somehow unified and united people who should be completely disagreeing. But that's what happens when you're a prick.